So, what the heck was I talking about in the last video? Well, let's just put it this way. The whole idea of prophets and priests had gone to the wayside to make way for rabbis with learning. This had happened because of Simon Maccabeus. This is where we started to get these things called zygote, which are like zygotes, which mean like zygotes too. And what were these? There were 5 sets with pairs of teachers that were the Nasi. And so what was happening by the time of Christ was that the Pharisees were now under a different set of rules. It was no longer prophets and priests that spoke. It was now rabbinim. It was now the head Nasi, the rabbi, and the Talmudim. It's where we get Talmud. It's the disciples. Discipleship. This is where we're getting at. The Pharisees and the Jewish people that came from the sect of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, they separated. But the Pharisees, including Gamaliel, which was Paul's teacher, were all about being trained, being a student. See, being discipled. So now when Christ came and they were looking to be his disciple. If you want to be my disciple, okay, poke out your eye. If you want to be my disciple, well then deny your father and mother. Basically, it was saying if you really want to be a student of following the law perfect, then go right ahead, have at it. But in order to do it, you're going to have to pluck out your own eyes and hands because you can't keep yourself from sin. So this was a rebuke to the Talmudim, to the Pharisees that had their idea of discipleship. Now, after these Pharisaical Jews came to Christianity, what do you think they were looking for? They weren't looking for a Christianity that didn't have to do with discipleship or their legal system. This is where James the Just comes in because that's tailor fit for exactly what they want. It was all about their own efforts at being disciples of Jesus, Talmudim. Later on in the Bar Hakba revolt, Akiva had gone back to this idea. He had basically taken the oral law, which is the oral tradition, and thrown away the Tanakh, threw away the Old Testament in order to redefine it. And what was it? It was a general, Ben Chasuba, who he changed to Bar Hachba, means son of the star, made him out to be the Messiah. Because they were looking for a Messiah to deliver them from Roman oppression, which Jesus of Nazareth, Yeshua HaMashiach, was not. So there was a major rift between these disciples of Akiva and Bar Hachba and James the Just and the Jerusalem Talmidim of the Yeshua HaMashiach. So this explains James the Just and his persecution and even his stoning. Now there is hearsay back and forth as to whether Paul had him stoned, and there's all these accusations going back and forth. But basically, what we see is a Pharisaical Christians. When James had said to Paul, "You see all these Christians in Jerusalem, and they're all zealous for the law." They were all zealous for the same type of halakhic legal teaching that they got from the Hasmodeans, the Thassis, Simon Maccabeus, and when the system of prophets and priests had been replaced by rabbinical teaching. So this sets up the stage for all of Judaism going after this legal system, halachic law, and even describes the Pharisees of today. Thank you.